Welcome to IRACON TV. This is Shounak Ghosh, and I have the honor of having present with me today the past president of the Indian Rheumatological Association, currently the president of the Asia Pacific League of Associations in Rheumatology, and the previous head of the Department of Rheumatology and Clinical Immunology at CMC Vellore, Professor Debashish Danda. Sir, welcome to Hyderabad. Starting off on an academic note, you have always been a proponent of research in Takayasu's arthritis in India. So what are some of your insights about the ways we can improve in diagnosing and managing this condition?
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me for this discussion. It's my pleasure, and I'll be happy to respond by saying that not only Takayasu, in almost every possible disease, we have the opportunities to do or conduct relevant research. There are many mechanisms of doing it. I give you an example how we got into the international map, Takayasu's, Sjogren's, and few other diseases. First of all, it is important to generate good data from our own people, and that should be published somewhere which is visible to everybody. I give you an example beyond Takayasu. When he first published, generated some data on Sjogren's syndrome, and it was rejected initially by almost all the journals we sent. Finally, we got it published somewhere, which was indexed. And seeing that, we got a call from the Sjogren's Big Data Group, and we are part of it till now, over the last 10 years, and we are the single center largest cohort in Sjogren's, and we have been involved in multiple follow-up studies with that. In Takayasu too, when the new classification was initiated by Oxford University, it's called DCVA study, which was eventually combined with ACR and EULAR, and the new classification came out in 2022 December. Again, we were the single largest center contributor from Vellore. So, the most important key to bring India into international map of rheumatology, to generate some good data, draw the attention of people, and then it is called collaboration within the country, multicentric, and beyond the country, within other countries. I would say that start with India, collaborate with the South Asian countries, then go beyond. India now is in a turning point where for the first time over the last 10 years, I can see that we are being noticed. India's quality of science and research has significantly gone up. India does not need to send samples out of country anymore. India has enough human resource and infrastructure to do any level of genetic, epigenetic, any other translational research, and of course clinical research. We have everything in plenty. Each center has everything in plenty. To give an example, in Vellore, over the last 27 years I am there, we have almost 25,000 patients of lupus in our department. We have a countless number of probably 40,000-50,000 each of rheumatoid and spondyloarthritis, more than 1,000 Takayasu's arthritis, more than 1,000 primary Sjogren's syndrome. Nowhere in the world they have it. But I can tell you, if the same thing is attempted, it can be looked at in Kolkata or in Mumbai or Delhi, anywhere else. Of course, we cannot always do all the work ourselves, but that is why the team is important. We are totally bogged down by clinical work. We need to spend some time, dedicated time, and the administrators, the institutional heads, the National Medical Council, the government, everybody should see research is not a fancy. Publications is not just a feather in the cap. These are the ones which will make us respectable across the world, and India is now rising in many sectors, especially in IT. Why not us? India produces the pharmaceutical products for almost whole world now. So it is time now that we turn to relevant research and big collaborations.
Sir, and on that note, you have been working with several international groups and associations, even in their administrative positions. So, what are some of your ideas or visions for Indian rheumatologists in the future for this sort of research and growth?
Thank you. Before saying that, I would like to say very sadly, the area where India needs to improve is most Indians are visionary and they can dream. Einstein said vision or dream is more important than knowledge. The knowledge is limited. Vision and imagination has no limit. So if you do not have vision and imagination, knowledge goes waste. And knowledge also goes completely in a 360-degree U-turn over the years, because today's theory is tomorrow in the dustbin. So it's important. I have been fortunate that that I have been involved with ILAR. I was the chair of ILAR last year, which is the International League Against Rheumatism, heading all the LARs in the world: American College of Rheumatology, European Union League Against Rheumatism, APLAR, as you have mentioned, AFLAR, the African League Against Rheumatism, and PANLAR, the South American and Latin American countries called Pan American League Against Rheumatism. Now, while doing that, we have learned one thing, or I would say two things, most important in life in the field of rheumatology, is that we have to learn to be not only ethical, rational, logical, scientific, but also we have to learn how to be equitable. And equity is just not a word. It has to be acted upon. As I told, Indians know how to dream. So Indians think big, talk big, but we act little. Act means we function little. We do not translate into reality. We are changing. I hope we will do that. So the concept of equity is very important. For example, somebody working in an interior tribal area cannot do the same amount of research or education as in an institution like AIMS or PGI or SGPGI. So equity should give equal opportunity wherever you are, not by the pure merit of what you wrote. So someone writes from AIMS or PGI or SGPGI or other institutes a big grant with high-flown biological studies, it will be always defeating any other project. Somebody sitting in, say, interior tribal areas of Himachal Pradesh may not be able to write that. It may not be relevant to him also. So what I'm trying to say that generating relevant research question is another one I want to say. How do you generate relevant research question? It's not by reading. Of course, you have to read to improve your knowledge, you broaden your thinking capacity, but what research question you generate should come from your patients. I don't want to discover a Rubik's Cube. I want to do something which is more relevant to my people. If I observe that my patients of lupus are not doing as good as the patients of Hispanic origin or Caucasians or blacks, I have to find out what is the cause. Or if within India also you have so much of ethnic variation, suppose a patient of lupus in northern India do not do as good as people of northeastern India, we have to find out what is the cause, genetic or epigenetic and other factors. So finding out a relevant research question which will change my practice is the idea of research. Research and education is not for fancy. They are for improving quality care. So therefore, generating relevant research questions by good clinical observation by busy clinicians is the first step towards doing research which will make us, I was an author along with Dr. Robert Fox and Professor Mishra long back that Sjogren's syndrome is rare in India. I was the first again to disprove it. I have to disprove myself that it's not rare because we didn't have enough information. So therefore, I think doing comprehensive, relevant research with relevant research question which is generated from patients' data is very relevant. and that would probably take us somewhere.
Thank you so much, sir. And finally, before closing, just one word of advice you'd like for all of us young rheumatologists to assimilate.
Thank you. The first of all, I would like to say the young rheumatologists that there is no shortcuts. There is no shortcuts. You be ambitious, you be focused, you do science and education, but don't forget work-life balance. There is no purpose in being workaholic which doesn't translate into anything. There are people who have done big amount of practice, earned a lot of money, but did not have enough time to go for a holiday with the family for a day also. So these are of no use. The other thing I would like to say is the ethical consideration. Today, the doctor's reputation in the society is worse than what used to be before. I won't name. There are professions that say they only take bribes. There are professions who used to take, they are always corrupt. Today, the doctors are considered like that by some part of the society. We have to change that image, and that is everybody is watching us. Today, there is nothing called privacy. Everybody can watch us from anywhere. If not, when you're talking on mobile phone, your artificial intelligence devices may be implanted into your mobile. They will know what you want, what you watch in your in the social media. The next advertisement will come according to your choice. So there's no privacy. So people are watching you. We have to be the image of doctors in the mind of society, people, your parents, I think should be respected. We are not businessmen. We are not industrialists. We are not going to be a successful doctor if that is our main objective. The other thing is too much craving for gadgets and glamour is also something not needed. You have to be a good internist. Rheumatology is a field which is nothing but in good internal medicine. So they don't feel bad if you don't have gadgets like cardiologists or gastroenterologists, because that doesn't serve any purpose. How much time you have to do expensive investigations, and ultimately it is translated to the patient's bill. We must remember in India why the farmers kill themselves. They die because they can't foot the bill of hospital admissions. They take loan from the money lenders and then they can't return, they kill themselves. It is a social responsibility of doctors to be sensible, ethical, sensitive. Also, I would say that be sensitive to our own colleagues also. Today, every doctor is prone to litigation. There's nobody who is free from it. So documentation, quality time is very important. We fail or we are victims of that because we do not have enough time to document. So to do that, we have to see how many patients actually I can see being mentally sound at the end of the day. It's no point seeing patients all the time when your judgment will be not the best. So this is the other thing I would like to say. And I would like to also say that ethics is not just an empty word. It has to be practiced. Just by saying or passing several courses will not do anything unless we apply it to ourselves. So I have one word, if I have to say by closing, that I will say that what you should do to your patients, my reply is, when you or your near and dear ones go to hospital or a clinic, what do you expect? We can see all the flaws of our colleagues when I or my family members go as a patient to another doctor. We can see that we may not be the best in our service. So we should do the same thing to the patients, what you expect as a patient from a doctor. I think this should be the bottom line of what we do. This will be the first thing, first and the last advice to the youngsters. And don't be impatient. Like someone said today, be like a tortoise. Be like a tortoise, things will come automatically. So, best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. This is Shounak signing off for IRACON TV from IRACON 2023.